Yeah, what about that? Use one word, passion. Isn't he the epitome of passion? I love passion. That's the key word. And he also is a master in the art of OPM. Remember OPM? What did Richard say OPM was? Other people's? Marketing. And you're going to have a chance to take advantage of that yourself. We want you to stick around afterwards and maybe just have a quick word with you that in front of this beautiful screen here so that we can then market it on YouTube and Facebook and all that, and you'll have a chance to talk about your products, so who you are, and get a chance to take advantage of other people's marketing, being Richard and Adam here. You know, there's something really important about telling your story. Adam just said that if you go up to someone and just give them a business card, you're not going to get anywhere at all. You want to tell a story. As soon as you know someone's story and they know your story, they're a person. They're in, you know who they are. They're a friend right away. And the master in telling a story. I hadn't met Shawn. I might have met you once before, I think, but I didn't know Shawn McCarthy at all. And I said, Shawn, I want to know a bit more about you. And he said, yeah, here you go. And he gave me a resume here. But what's interesting about it is there's facts in here. There's basic facts, like he resided in Oxnard since 1956 and has been 25 years in the retail industry, and he's an ambassador. Was ambassador of the year for the local chamber of commerce, and he's on the group of directors considered the top 10% of all BNI directors. But what was really interesting is the fact that he also was voted pinball wizard in high school. Now, I'll remember that. I'll remember pinball wizard in high school. I'll also remember that he was a star Little League baseball player at age 10 and defeated a professional basketball player in a three-point shootout in the 80s. How about that? That's Shawn McCarthy. Don't come up yet. Don't come up yet. Because the most interesting thing to me was that you met your wife in the grocery store, because my darling, my sweetheart who's not here tonight, the love of my life, I met her at Vaughn's in the meat department. So that's something that we share. I did. You got to mix this to meet a woman, it ain't going to happen. You got to go to the meat department. And I didn't just say the meat department just because it's a good line. That's where I met her, in the meat department. But anyway, you're going to learn a lot more here right now from Shawn McCarthy. Shawn, come on up here.
Thank you. I'll probably not use the mic, but...
You got to use the mic. For the recording.
Oh, okay. I will use the mic then. Thank you so much for that great introduction. And yeah, I was voted pinball wizard in high school. For those of you that don't know what pinball is, see me after the meeting. Just letting you know. The first thing I want to do is, how about a big hand for Adam? That was awesome stuff, Adam. Big hand. Yeah. Okay. Tough crowd tonight. Okay. I'm Shawn McCarthy, and I am the Executive Director of BNI, Business Network International of Ventura County. And BNI is the world's largest business networking and referral organization. We're all over the world, as you can see from the logo up there. We're now in 68 countries around the world, and we have over 200,000 members here in Ventura County. My job as an Executive Director of BNI is to coach, assist, support, and train all the members of BNI here in Ventura County, and I have about 450 people in that in 21 chapters throughout the land. If you want to know more about that, see me after the meeting. Couple things we get started. First of all, I was talking to one of you before the meeting today, and I used to be much heavier. I used to be around 300 pounds, and somebody said, oh, you lost some weight the last couple of years. And I said, yeah, I was on a popcorn diet. And they said, a popcorn diet? I said, yeah, all I did was eat popcorn for 6 months. And it worked very well. The good news is I lost about 60 pounds. The bad news is I spent $17,000 at the movies. Letting you know. Okay. I'm going to have my friend Tom from Tomas Cafe give everybody a handout. Because I love handouts, because I want you to take notes tonight, because I've got some real simple stuff to talk about. So if you have a pen, please have a pen ready. If you don't have a pen, ask your neighbor or wave your hand wildly, and somebody will give you a pen, I'm sure. And what I want to talk about tonight is the top 10 tips for networking a mixer. That's the title of my talk tonight. However, these tips can be used for any event. And we've already heard a little bit about ribbon cuttings, open houses, going to other city things, nonprofits, things like that. You can use these tips for anything. Now, before I get into the tips, a couple things. Before you go to any event, okay, and it's not listed here, you need to have the right attitude, right? You have to have a great attitude before you go into any event, right? So you need to start smiling, right? Have a great attitude, have that smile ready, and have the right mental state of mind. What we call that in BNI is giver's gain, the giver's gain mentality. And that means not what's in it for me, but what's in me for others. Because anytime you give, you're going to receive, right? And that's not only true in business, it's also true in your personal life, right? So giver's gain is a great mentality to have. And if you have brochures or networking material, when you go into a networking event of any kind, put them on the networking table. You need to travel light in networking event, have your hands open. On the back table there, all of us have some stuff about what we're talking about tonight. I've got some flyers back there and some pamphlets about BNI, okay? So you can check that out at the end. So that's what we do before we get to any event. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Number 1 says, have your networking, does anybody know what the blank is? Have your networking tools with you anytime you go to an event, okay? So there's 3 main tools, and you only need 3 to be effective, right? So audience participation portion of the meeting. What do you guys yell it out? What do you think one of them is? Business cards. We've already heard about business cards, right? And I totally agree with Adam. You better be carrying your business cards. You know, I meet a lot of people too, and I'm always amazed when I'm at a business event and I ask somebody for their business cards and they said, oh, I didn't bring any today. Really? You did know you were coming to the event tonight, right? That's what I'm thinking. Of course, I don't say that. Business cards are cheap. I get them 5,000 at a time. And yeah, use your business cards. Have your business cards with you. That's one of the tools that's necessary to survive. And by the way, Shawn's networking rule number 1 is always have your business cards. Because if you ever catch me anywhere, even if I'm at Sam's Club or filling up with gas at AM PM or over at the 7-Eleven getting a Slurpee, if you catch me without a business card, I will buy you lunch. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Because I get asked that sometimes when I tell that people and they see me and they go, do you have a business card? I got to let you know I haven't been caught in 16 years. Okay, that's how long I've been a BNI director. Okay.
Way outside your house.
Yeah. I'll have them. Okay. Okay, so business cards number 1. What's another tool you should have?
Good attitude.
I said already the attitude, remember? That you got to have that, but that's not one of the tools. How about name badge? Name badge. Thea's back there going, yes, I'm wearing my name badge. Name badge is a great thing to have when you're at a networking event. And you don't wear a name badge because like, oh, here I am, I'm here, I'm Shawn, here, see, I am here. No. You wear a name badge as a courtesy to other people, right? It's a courtesy. Because we all meet lots of people. It's hard to remember everybody's name, and the name badge helps you. It's also professional. By the way, you should wear your name badge on the right side, like I am. Does anybody know why? That's what I recommend. Thea.
You wear it on the right because when you lean in to say, shake their hand, they can see your name.
That's right. That's exactly right. When you shake hands with someone, they immediately go up to the right. So I'm right-handed, so it's kind of weird because usually you put on the left. But really, I don't care what side it's on as long as you're wearing one. And if you don't have one for your company or your organization, use the stick-on ones. Most events have that when you go to the check-in table. They have those stick-on name badges. Wear that. So please wear a name badge. It's a courtesy. The last tool that you should have is a pen. You need to have a pen. I'm actually carrying around one of my members' pens, and I didn't even know he was going to be here tonight, but this is Brian's pen. This is Brian from Ready Restoration. I'm carrying around his pen, helping him market a little bit. But I always have a pen, okay? So those are the 3 tools you need. We'll talk more about the pens a little bit later. Okay, so the ladies are all wondering, well, Shawn, what about my purse? What about my lipstick? What about my keys? What about all that? Because guys have pockets, and we got to put our comb and our keys in our pockets, right? So ladies, you need to travel light. I recommend you leave the purse in the trunk. My wife likes to wear little jackets that have pockets. So she has an in basket for her cards and an out basket, right? Or if you're going to wear a purse, wear one of those little purses over your shoulder, right? A little cocktail purse or whatever they call it. You want to travel light, okay? All right, and guys, leave your purse in the car. Okay. It's a satchel. Okay. Okay. Number 2 is set a goal for the number of people you want to meet. The number of people you want to meet. Now, a couple things. If you're new to networking, welcome to it. But here's the thing. When you're new to networking, we all started somewhere. So make it a goal to say, I'm not going to leave here till I get 3 new business cards for your first event. Maybe the next event It's going to be 5 business cards. So set a goal for the number of you people you want to meet and for the kind of people you want to meet. The kind of people. So if you're looking for referral partners of a certain occupation or profession, seek those people out. Ask the people at the check-in table. Ask the people that are at the event that you know, or ask other people. Are there any bankers here, or CPAs, or massage therapists, or whatever you're looking for? Okay? Number 3 is one of my favorite ones. It's act like a host and not a guest. Act like a host and not a guest. That's a great line. I love that line. When you go to a networking event, here's what I want you to think. You own the joint. If you're there, you need to have that kind of mentality. If you go to a Chamber of Commerce mixer, if you don't even belong to the chamber, you own the joint. If you're a member of the chamber, you really own the joint, because if there weren't members, there wouldn't be a chamber, right? But act like a host and not a guest. This is so important, guys. And I don't know about you, but if I'm new to an event or facility or an organization, I like to be warmly greeted, right? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? It's the same in networking. So make people feel warm and fuzzy inside. And I want you to look for those deer in the headlights people, right? It's their first networking event, right? They don't know anybody. You know what I'm talking about. You were there once, right? So was I. First mixer I ever went to, I stood in a corner for an hour and a half and hoped nobody would talk to me. One guy did. Okay. But you can learn all this, okay? Because if you don't tap into those people, if you don't make them feel warm and fuzzy, they're going to retreat to the bar or go home, right? So help them. Sow those seeds of kindness, as I like to say. The other thing I want to say about meeting people and making them feel good, I'm going to have Tom stand up because he's in the front row, so you get picked on. And shaking hands is another important aspect of networking. So when you shake somebody's hand, we want a firm handshake. We don't want any of those. Thank you, Thomas. We don't want any of those dead fish handshakes. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's a guy in this county that does that. Every time I see him, it drives me nuts. I go, here he comes. He's going to shake my hand. Really? Right? And ladies, that goes for you too. A nice, firm handshake. Now, guys, if you're like Adam, real strong and all buffed out, you know, he knows the proper pressure to apply. He doesn't want to knock me over, right? And I'm, oh, God. Right? So watch those handshakes. Okay, number 5 is give a referral whenever possible. Give a referral whenever possible. Okay? Oh, did I skip 4? I'm sorry. Okay, now you know the answer to 5 when I ask you. Number 4 is listen and
Shake hands. Oh.
shake hands. Ask questions. Adam touched on this a little bit earlier too, right? You got to ask questions. You got to be other directed. Have that giver's gain mentality like we talked about. So you need to show genuine interest. Here's one of my favorite sayings in networking. A great networker has 2 ears and 1 mouth and uses them proportionally. Right? You have twice as much ear as mouth. So that's what you need to do. You need to be a great listener. And I'll tell you this. Most people talk way too much. Right? And I do too sometimes. But I'm always trying to listen to help my referral partners, to help my members, and to help my friends. Okay, so be a great listener. You know, my wife says I never listen, or something like that. Okay, number 5 is give a referral whenever possible. So yeah, give a referral whenever possible. Now, in most networking situations, you're not going to necessarily have a referral for somebody, because it is all about building relationships, getting to know, like, and trust people. Okay, but you can give a referral to a book you just read, or a website, right? Or an event coming up. Everybody should be at the Latino Business Expo coming up in April, right? I tell people that all the time. You got to be there. It's the biggest event in the county, right? So help people with that. Websites, seminars, workshops like this, let them know when the next one is. I do that a lot for people. Okay. Okay, number 6 is describe your blank or blank in 60 seconds or less. What do you think it is? Yeah. Product or service, right. Describe your product or service in 60 seconds or less. Okay, so that's a great skill to learn, because, like, again, most people talk too long. And one of the great things about going to networking events is you can ask people about their business. That's what everybody's there for. So people always say, well, Shawn, what do I say to get people talking? And what do I do? And da-da-da-da-da. Ask them about their business. Hi, Bonnie, how are you tonight?
I'm great.
Great. Oh, tell me about your business. And off she goes. Right? Okay. However, you need to do that clearly. What you're trying to do at networking events is start a relationship, and then hopefully you say enough to make them say, tell me more, right? Or find out more, right? So business events, networking events are not for selling. They're not selling events, okay? And this is a common misconception. And just like Adam talked about people going around giving you their business card, banging you on the head and saying how great they are, you're going to throw that card in the round file ASAP. And I totally agree with that. It's not a selling environment, so remember that. Okay. Okay, number 7 is exchange. What do you think it is? There's 2 blanks there. Exchange blanks with the people you meet. Business cards. Oh, we're back to the business cards. You can see that this is number 7 on the list, not number 1. Right? So I want you to have some general conversation with people before you exchange business cards. Okay, and there is an etiquette to that. Most people will ask you for your business card toward the end of the conversation when they know it's winding down. And I'll do that to people, and hopefully they ask for your card in return if that's the case. Okay? Remember, it's not number 1 on the list. It's number 7. Okay, so have some general conversation. Always have your business cards. You need to replace your old cards. If your address is changed, you move to a new location, don't cross it out with a Sharpie. Just get new business cards made, right? You have a question, Adam?
Yeah, well, I'm also,
Go ahead.
the headshot's 10 years old, and you don't look like the person on the card.
Yeah, I didn't know they
Time
were.
to call Bonnie and
Yeah,
give them a
I
headshot.
didn't know they were going to use that headshot. They were kind of teasing me about that.
All right.
So that it was about 8 years, but yeah,
No, I'm talking about some of mine.
yeah, yeah. So have new cards made. If you run out, replace them quickly. There's a couple things about business cards. First of all, here's another thing. If you ever go to another country, quick tip: find out what the etiquette is for exchanging business cards. For example, if you go to Japan, it's very formal over there. Now, we're very casual here in California. It's like, hey, you got a business card I can snatch from you? Sure, and you exchange business cards and Yahoo, right? In Japan, it's very formal. It's an honor to receive another person's business card. And they hold out both their hands like this to receive it. They actually look at it, right, instead of just shoving it right in, and then they exchange the card. I'll tell you, if you go over there and you say, hey, they might kick you out of the country. I'm just letting you know. Okay, and you know what? I've got some great examples of business cards. Your business cards need to be clean. They need to reflect your business. Okay, and you all have different kinds of businesses, and there's a whole bunch of kinds of different kind of business cards. So it should reflect what you do, and your business card is a reflection on you. Okay, so your cards need to be neat and clean and all that kind of stuff. I brought some examples here of great business cards. Okay, and the ones I brought are actually out-of-the-box cards, I call them. Okay, because if you have some fun stuff that you do for a living, have some fun with your business card. Here's a business card. It's from a girl named Pauline, and she sells peanut brittle. Look at the back of her card. It's all peanut brittle. I don't know if you can all see that, but it's a peanut brittle on the back. That's pretty cool, right? I love that card. Okay, here's another business card I love. It's called a floss card. It's from a dentist. It's got floss. Now, this would only work if you're a dentist. Okay. Just letting you know. Now, here's a great card. One of my buddies has this one. It says confidential on the little envelope. What do you think he is? Any ideas? Yeah, he's a private investigator. Isn't that cool? Very memorable. So those are some out-of-the-box cards. So those are some real fun cards I've seen through the years. Do you guys want to see the worst business card I've ever seen? The worst one I've ever seen. Okay, here it comes. Here it is. I was at an event, and I even wrote down when it was. 05. I've had this 11 years. Because every time I talk about networking, I bring this up. It's one of my favorite things. I'm talking to a guy at a mixer. We're having a good conversation. Toward the end, I ask him for his business cards. He pulls out a little note paper thing. And what he has done is he has stamped his information on here. Can you see that? Right, that's pretty. Anybody here think that's impressive? Don't raise your hand at him. Okay. I mean, really?
Does he sell napkins? We're still talking about it.
I never saw that guy again, by the way. Gee, I wonder why. So have some fun with your business cards, and let's make sure you have them all the time, right? Okay. Again, the business cards are cheap. If you need new business cards, go and get some. It's just dumb not to have business cards or say I can't afford them. It's like selling your car for gas money, right? Okay. All right. Okay, number 8 says, spend 10 minutes or less with each person you meet. Okay, obviously. So you want to avoid lingering with friends. So when I see Adam at events, yeah, we go over and we have fun, we shake hands, we hug each other, we tell each other a joke or something, roast each other, and then we move on, right? I want you to say hi to your friends. I want you to hug them and shake their hand. But your goal at networking event is to meet new people and expand your horizons. So don't spend all your time lingering with friends. And I know that's tough sometimes. I get involved with that too, and it's tough sometimes. Okay. Now, sometimes I get asked, how do I get out of a conversation? Right? How do I get out of a conversation? I'm going to have Tom stand up again. Because there's a couple ways you can get out of a conversation. You know, the easiest way, if Tom and I are talking, we're having a good... There you go. If we're having a good conversation, and we know it's starting to wind down or we want to get around the room, you can just say, you know, hey, Tom, it's great talking to you. I want to let you get around the room, meet some more people, or go get a drink, or go out to the buffet, or whatever. And that's a way. However, here's what I like to do. Stay up. Is I'm talking to Tom. We're getting toward the end of the conversation. The first person that walks by that I know, I'm going to Shanghai that person and introduce him to Tom. Right? Okay? And then I'm going to say, you know, Tom, this is Adam. He's a great guy to know. He's a good friend of mine. I think you guys should talk. You know, you guys have a lot in common. And then I'm going to moonwalk out of the conversation. Right? Okay. Thank you, Tom. Now, if all else fails, if I don't know a lot of people at the mixer, I'm looking for the first name badge that I can read that walks by. It's another good reason to look for name badges, right? And then I'm going to introduce them. Okay. So.
You know, I just realized you did that to me 3 times.
Okay, number 9. The other thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to do one other thing. Tom, please stand up again. Another thing is, I want you to look for this when you go to networking events. And this is a thing I see a lot. Tom, please face me. When two people are talking like this, their shoulders are parallel. Sometimes they're talking in a low voice. They're having, obviously, a very serious conversation, right? It's very hard to get into this conversation. We call that a closed two in networking, a closed two. So what you really want is to be talking like this. It's much more inviting to come into the conversation, isn't it, if you're walking by? So this is what we call an open two, an open two. And the same goes, thank you, Tom. And the same goes for threes. If there's 3 people in a triangle, it's very hard to get in there, right? So you want to look for those open twos, those open threes, those open fours. And you be aware of that too. When you see me at events, I'll be standing just like that. I want people to come into the conversation, okay, with a rare exception. Yes?
I do that. I just join people if I don't know many people. And maybe there's 2 people and I join them and they ignore me. They ignore me. So you just walk away.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You know, that's where networking skills come in, and that's where you have to be a little proactive as opposed to reactive and say, oh, tell me about your business, you know, and off they go. So, yeah, there's some tips for that. Yes, Adam?
One of the things, I witnessed it yesterday, I had a group of women, 5 of them showed up, and they all sat together and they all left together, and they're
Yeah.
here for the mixer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I told them that, you know, don't sit with the same
Split
people
up.
you know, split up.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And
My
mine
wife
was
and
all the
I,
time.
you know, we go to some breakfast, chamber events, things like that, and we sit at different tables across the room. And I got asked a couple of weeks ago by a person there, they go, isn't that your wife way over there at that table over there? And I said, yes. And she said, why aren't you sitting together? Are you guys mad at each other? And I said, no. I said, it's a table of 10. So I said, this way we get to meet 18 people as opposed to 8.
Divide and conquer.
Right? And the same when you see us at a mixer together. She'll be at one end of the room and I'll be at the other, and we usually end up at the middle at the end, right? So if you're there with your spouse, your co-workers, partners, split up. Work the room. You get to know more people. Great point, Adam. Thank you. Did you have something, Thea?
I was gonna say, when I've been in the situation where they're just ignoring me, you know my mouth. I just say, hi, I'm Thea, you know, I heard you talking, and
Yeah.
I get in the subject.
Yeah, again, being proactive as opposed to reactive. So yeah, there's a few things you can do there. See me after. I'll give you more tips on that. So
I got
look for those open twos, open threes. Be proactive. Yes.
when you mentioned about when you were and everything, but I'm gonna go circulate.
Yeah, that's fine to say. Because sometimes people are nervous to say that, or say, you know, I'd like to get over and get something to eat. It was great talking to you, or whatever. So there's a few things you can say. But I like introducing them to somebody. That's just my thing. But yeah, anything you can do that's polite and cordial is recommended. Okay? Okay. Okay. Number 9 is write comments on the back of the business cards you receive, or the front. Okay, so that's why you need the pen, right? You need the pen. Now, I don't want you pulling out your pen and writing down things there immediately. Okay, after you finish the conversation, or you're off to the side, or it might be that night or the next day. Because what I do when I go to networking events, I debrief when I get home, either that night or the next day, and I look at the cards I got, and if I haven't already made notes on them, I write notes on them. And I write all kinds of stuff. I write the event name, the Latino Business Expo. I write the date, April 29th. I might even write something fun about them that we talked about, like their wife just had a baby, or their daughter went to college, or something like that, or they bought a new car. Because when I talk to them the next time and I mention that, they're going to think I'm a genius. And I'm not. I write it down. That's why you need the pen. So please have a pen, okay? And you can write down anything that you promise them. Events coming up, any promises you made, fun stuff about them, anything. Okay, that's why you need the pen. Okay, the last one is the lifeblood of networking. What is it? Follow up. Follow up. You gotta follow up with people. Okay, if you have to do 1 through 10 on this list. If you do 1 through 9, you've wasted your time. Right? You have to do them all. You have to do the follow-up. Okay? And I get asked a lot, well, Shawn, what's the best way to follow up? And here's what I tell people. Whatever you're going to do consistently. Because there's different ways to follow up, right? A lot of ways to follow up. Right? Handwritten notes. I'm old school. Right? Email. Phone call, Yelp, Facebook post, Twitter, taking them to lunch, buying them a gift, whatever it is. There's lots of ways to follow up, but do what you're going to do consistently. I do a little combination of all that, you know. Kind of depends on the situation, who it was, and how serious of a conversation it was. Might just send him an email. Might follow up with him on a phone call if I promise that, or if he's expecting it, or I think it's appropriate. Right? Just depends. So make sure you follow up. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, a couple other things. Sometimes you're very tired. You've had a long day. Okay, sometimes you don't feel very well, and you're griping about, oh, that event starts at 5:30. Oh, I'm so, man. I gotta let you know, some of the best events that I've been at are the ones I've griped the most about. And as Adam hinted, you need to go. You need to go. It's part of the deal. It's part of the job. If you're a real networker, you want to be a master networker, you got to get out there and network. Okay? So no griping. Get out there. Get out of your comfort zone. All you need is a name to start a conversation, as I mentioned, at a business event. If you know somebody's name, you can start a conversation. Okay? Now, it does take time to build relationships and get to that level of trust that's necessary for referrals to happen. Okay? That's why you got to stick with it. I see a lot of people at networking events one time or twice. I never see them again. Oh, I didn't get anything out of that. It didn't work. Well, you got to keep at it. It's like anything else. It's like anything else. It's a skill, right? It's not going to happen immediately, right? It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So I tell people there's no cave dwellers allowed. So you need to get out of your cave, because there's a lot of people that live in a cave, and then they get in a cave with 4 wheels, and they go to the other cave and play on a computer all day, and they get back in their cave with the 4 wheels and go back to their cave, right? So get out of your cave and watch what happens. Okay. Remember, there are no successful hermits, right? No successful hermits. Okay. One other thing that Adam mentioned, I totally agree with also, is getting involved with the community on all levels other than just business. I'm very involved with the community. I am also involved with Food Share. I'm involved at my church. I'm the hospitality chair and on the council. I'm involved with the YMCA board and numerous other things. And giving back to your community is very, very important. And it will help you in business too. So find things you have a passion for and watch what happens and get involved. Okay. I want to let you know, as I close right now, I do have a gift for all of you. I'm going to hand these out as soon as I get done talking. And it's a great book on networking. Now, this is a rated G show tonight. The name of the book is Business Networking in Sex, Not What You Think. Okay, that's the name of the book. And it's a great book that sometimes communicating with the opposite sex, especially at business events, can be tough, right? And this book talks all about the secrets to unlocking that puzzle, and will teach you how to communicate tremendously with the opposite sex. And you're all going to get a copy of this book tonight because you didn't boo me or throw food at me. And I appreciate that. So I'm going to come around and give you that in just a minute. I want to thank you for your time. If you have questions about anything I talked about tonight, I'll be here as long as you need. See me in the back. And I want you to remember my name. My name is Shawn, and it's spelled S-H-A-W-N. And that stands for Success Happens Always When Networking. Okay. Thank you very much.